Chosen one, pause right here. Do not scroll away. Do not rush past this moment, because what you are about to hear is not ordinary. This is a prophetic word, urgent and divine, arriving at the exact moment it was meant to find you. I speak to you with trembling in my spirit because I know the silence you've been facing is not random. It is not just a phone that doesn't ring or a message that never comes through. No. This silence has been written in heaven, placed like a shield around your soul to guard you from what you could not yet see. You may think you are being ignored, but the truth is you are being preserved. You may think someone has simply chosen not to reach out, but the reality is they are not permitted to reach you. This is not a matter of human decision, it is a matter of divine intervention. The silence in front of you does not mean heaven is silent. The absence of words on your screen does not mean the absence of care in the spirit. This silence is not emptiness, it is protection. Today I declare to you, the silence you are living with is not rejection but redirection. It is the evidence that heaven has already stepped in, building walls you did not ask for but desperately needed. And this very moment, right here, right now, has been orchestrated so you would hear the truth before the weight of confusion could overtake you. Now, as you step forward into this divine truth, if this word resonates, you may write 777 as an act of agreement in faith, or you may simply stay and receive. Do not rush away. Remain with me until the very end, because we will close this message with a powerful prayer, one that will speak directly into your spirit today. Stay with me, because this moment is holy. Let the weight of his peace rest upon you now. Chosen one, listen carefully, because the truth I must reveal to you is weighty. There is a person who has longed to speak to you. Their fingers have hovered over the keyboard, their thoughts have circled your name, and their heart have wrestled between desire and fear. They have written words, erased them, rewritten them, and sat frozen with the phone in their hand. Yet no message ever reaches you, and no conversation ever begins. Why? Because heaven has placed a boundary. This is not an accident. This is not indecision. It is a divine interruption. Every time they prepared to reach you, a greater power intervened. Their lips were closed before they could form a sentence. Their hand weakened before they could press send. What looked like hesitation was, in fact, the hand of God standing between you and them. They are not allowed to text you. They are not allowed to hold a conversation with you. And the reason is not because you lack value. It is because your value is too great to be touched by words that carry the wrong spirit. Do you see it now? This silence is a sign. Heaven has issued a restraining order, not against your blessing, but against what would have harmed it. Their intentions were mixed. Their loyalty was fractured. Their presence, if allowed, would have drained you, distracted you, and pulled you away from alignment with your destiny. That is why their voice has been silenced before it could ever reach your ears. I know the quiet has felt heavy. I know you have wondered why the notifications never appear, why the phone stays blank, why the one who once had access to your heart now seems bound in chains of silence. But chosen one, hear me. This is not punishment, it is protection. You are being spared from conversations that would have poisoned your clarity. You are being preserved from entanglements that heaven already saw would break you. The silence is not absence, it is mercy. The wall around you is not rejection, it is a direction. And the emptiness you thought was neglect is actually the evidence of divine love shielding you from manipulation. Heaven has spoken, and the verdict is final. They are not permitted to approach you. Chosen one, now you must understand the reason behind this divine interruption. Heaven does not block without cause. Heaven is not silent without purpose. The hand that closed their mouth and weakened their fingers saw something hidden long before you could. Their intentions were not pure enough to deserve your attention. Their words, though dressed in familiarity, carried a weight of deception. Each time they prepared to reach out, heaven inspected the condition of their heart. What was found was not the truth. It was a mixture. It was a compromise. It was a shadow pretending to be light. That is why they could not get through. That is why their messages never arrived. Heaven will not permit a fractured spirit to have full access to a chosen vessel. I need you to see the contrast clearly. Not every voice that wants you is meant to have you. Not every word that desires to enter your ears is worthy of your spirit. They were stopped because their loyalty was divided. They were stopped because their desire was selfish. They were stopped because their motive was not aligned with the destiny written over your life. Think of it this way. If their words had reached you, they would have wrapped you in confusion. Their sentences would have sounded sweet but carried poison. Their conversations would have seemed warm but burned you slowly from within. Heaven saw the danger long before you could feel it, and heaven said, "Enough." This is why you must no longer see the silence as a void. It is a verdict. It is a holy no. It is a line drawn in the spirit declaring, "This one shall not pass." You were not abandoned. You were defended. You were not neglected. You were protected. Chosen one. Do not misinterpret divine silence as rejection. It is preservation. It is heaven's way of saying, your worth is too high to be squandered on voices that cannot honor it. That is why they were stopped. That is why the messages never came. That is why the conversation you once thought you needed was erased before it ever began. Heaven does not waste its protection. If the wall was built, it is because the danger was real. Chosen one, hear me with gravity, because what I am about to unfold carries weight that cannot be taken lightly. The silence you are experiencing is not a small matter. It is not simply a lack of conversation. It is not the quietness of human hesitation. No, it is the voice of heaven speaking louder than words could ever speak. What you call silence is in fact divine intervention, a holy decree wrapped in stillness. When the heavens withhold a sound, it is because the sound itself would corrupt the purity of your path. When God chooses not to let you hear, it is because what was spoken would have wounded, distorted, or poisoned the journey you are on. This silence is a message, a shield, and a verdict all at once. You see, chosen one, silence is often misunderstood. People fear it, people despise it, people mistake it for rejection. But in the realm of the spirit, silence is one of the most powerful instruments of protection. Think of it this way. Words are seeds, and every sentence planted in your soul grows into something. If the seed is corrupted, it bears confusion. If the seed is dark, it bears bondage. Heaven in its mercy has stopped those seeds from ever reaching you. Their words never reached your ears because their words were never worthy of your destiny. The blank screen, the unanswered call, the unspoken text, each of these was a divine act of mercy. The stillness you see in front of you is not emptiness. It is heaven building a fortress around your soul. And you must feel the seriousness of this. If heaven had not intervened, you would be carrying battles that were not yours, tears that were unnecessary, and wounds that were avoidable. The silence spared you from warfare disguised as conversation. The silence rescued you from manipulation disguised as affection. The silence saved you from chains disguised as care. That is why this is not something to mourn, but something to honor. The silence you feel is heaven's handwriting over your life, declaring, this one is set apart, this one cannot be touched, this one must be protected. So I tell you with all authority, do not despise the silence. Do not question the blank space. Do not call it rejection when it is, in fact, your greatest protection. The seriousness of this moment is that your very destiny has been guarded by the absence of words. The stillness that surrounds you is not a void. It is a living shield, and it is proof that you are chosen. Chosen one, now I must take you into the depths of why heaven was so severe, why the wall was raised, and why the silence had to be enforced with such intensity. If their words had reached you, they would not have been harmless. They would not have been casual lines of communication. Their words were not designed to heal you, but to infiltrate you. Each sentence would have carried subtle poison, wrapped in charm, coated in familiarity, but deadly to your spirit. Like drops of ink in pure water, their words would have spread quietly until your clarity turned murky. What looked like a connection would have become contamination. You must understand that words are never neutral. Every word is a vessel carrying either life or death, truth or deception, clarity or confusion. If their voice had been allowed to enter your atmosphere, it would have planted seeds of doubt, fear, and entanglement. You would have been pulled into old cycles, chained again to patterns you were already delivered from. Their conversation would have sounded sweet, but would have stripped you of strength. Their promises would have sounded convincing, but would have drained your purpose. Their affection would have looked comforting, but would have bound you in compromise. Heaven saw this long before you did, and so heaven chose to cut the line before the toxin could reach your veins. Chosen one, if you had heard their words, they would have challenged your worth, even in subtle ways. They would have mixed truth with lies until you could not separate one from the other. That is the enemy's tactic: confusion disguised as counsel, control disguised as concern, destruction disguised as desire. But God is not mocked. The Spirit discerned what you could not yet see, and silenced them before their whisper became your wound. This is why I must tell you with all seriousness, the silence is not weakness, it is a strength. The absence of their words is the presence of God's protection. The wall was not cruel, it was merciful. For had their voice reached your ears, your spirit would be carrying battles you were never meant to fight. The danger was real, the threat was unseen, but heaven's answer was decisive. Their silence is proof that you were rescued from harm before harm even had the chance to form. So let this truth settle deep inside you. Their words never came because they were never meant to come. Heaven cut them off to preserve your destiny. What you thought was rejection was actually deliverance. Chosen one, I need you to open your eyes and recognize the signs, because heaven never works without leaving evidence. The silence you see on the surface is matched by signs in the spirit that confirm heaven's hand has been at work. These signs are not coincidences. They are confirmations that you are not being ignored, you are being protected. Perhaps you have dreamed of this person, yet in the dream they could not speak. Their lips moved, but no sound came out. Their presence lingered, but their voice was bound. That was not a random dream. That was heaven revealing to you in the night what is happening in the spirit. Their words have been chained. Their influence has been stripped. Their ability to reach you has been removed. You were shown the truth in vision so that when you wake, you would not mistake silence for neglect, but recognize it as divine restraint. Perhaps you have sensed them thinking of you, their energy brushing against your spirit, yet nothing ever materializes. The thought is there, but no approach comes. This too is a sign. Their mind are restless, but their path is blocked. Their desire may reach toward you, but heaven does not permit it to cross into your space. That restless tug you feel is evidence of the barrier standing firm. Perhaps you have noticed patterns, moments where it almost seemed they would break the silence. But then something happened and it never came through. A typed message was deleted. A call never dialed. A plan that fell apart before it could happen. Each interruption is not an accident, but an orchestration. Heaven has positioned obstacles at every turn to keep you safe from words you were never meant to receive. Chosen one, these signs are not to frighten you, but to assure you. You are not imagining things. You are not exaggerating the weight of what you feel. The silence you see is real, and the confirmations around you are heaven's way of saying, yes, this is me. Yes, this is protection. Yes, you are covered. The blocked words, the broken attempts, the dreams where their mouth cannot open, these are not random details. They are God's signature written across your story. So receive this assurance. The signs you have seen are proof that you are chosen. Proof that heaven is actively guarding your path. Proof that silence is not neglect, but divine mercy shaping your destiny. Chosen one, now that you have seen the silence for what it truly is, you must also understand what this silence means for you. It is not only about what was stopped, It is about what has been affirmed. Heaven does not guard what is common. Heaven guards what is sacred. And the very fact that walls were built around you is the clearest evidence that you are not ordinary, you are chosen. The silence is not there to shame you, it is there to separate you. It marks you as different, set apart, distinguished in the spirit. If you were like everyone else, every voice could reach you, every intention could touch you, every influence could enter. But because you are marked, heaven has placed restrictions on who can approach, who can speak, and who can stay. You have been sealed off for destiny. That is why not everyone is allowed access to your ears, your heart, or your energy. You must see the value of this. Silence has been a mirror reflecting back to you your worth. Every time a message failed to arrive, heaven was declaring, "Your voice matters too much to be drowned by noise." Every time a call never came through, heaven was saying, "Your ears are too precious to be filled with lies." Every time their lips were bound, heaven was testifying, "Your heart is too rare to be touched by deception." Silence itself has been heaven's way of announcing your worth to the unseen realm. And chosen one, this means you must never interpret yourself through the lens of those who could not reach you. Do not call yourself unwanted when heaven has called you untouchable. Do not label yourself forgotten when heaven has labeled you preserved. Do not mourn the absence of words that were never meant for you when heaven has prepared words of life waiting in the wings. What looks like a lack is actually an abundance hidden from view. This is why I tell you, you were not abandoned, you were defended. You were not rejected, you were redirected. You were not overlooked, you were overshadowed by mercy. The silence is not a curse upon you, it is a crown upon you. It is the living evidence that your destiny is too valuable to be polluted by voices that cannot honor it. This is the meaning of the silence. It is proof that you are chosen. Chosen one, now that you understand what the silence means for you, I must speak of what comes next, because silence is never the end of the story. Silence is preparation. Silence is the stage being cleared for what is greater. If heaven has removed voices that could not honor you, it is because heaven is preparing to release a voice that will. If one presence has been blocked, it is because another presence, pure and worthy, is on its way. The silence you carry right now is a waiting room. It feels empty, but in truth, it is full of construction. Heaven is building. Heaven is aligning. Heaven is preparing a connection that will not vanish, will not tremble, will not be silenced. The same hand that shut one mouth will open another. The same spirit that cut off the wrong will usher in the right. And when it comes, chosen one, you will see the difference with unmistakable clarity. This future voice will not drain you, it will strengthen you. It will not confuse you, it will clarify you. It will not play with your emotions, it will stabilize your spirit. The words of this coming one will be like water to your thirst, like oil to your lamp, like light to your path. They will not bind you in fear, but build you in faith. They will not speak to your weakness to control you, but to your strength to confirm you. And in their presence, you will not feel smaller. You will feel seen. You will not feel chained. You will feel free. Chosen one, the silence of the present is proof of the faithfulness of heaven to your future. God would not remove without intending to replace. He would not be silent without intending to speak. He would not strip away without intending to supply. Every absence is a prelude to a presence. Every closed door is the preparation for an open one. Every mute tongue is the prelude to a pure voice that will be allowed into your life. But you must wait with expectation. Do not despise this season of stillness, for it is birthing something holy. Do not rush to fill the silence with substitutes, for heaven is precise with its timing. The wrong has been cut off, so the right can come in due season. And when it arrives, you will not doubt, you will not wonder, you will not question, you will know. The peace will be undeniable, the alignment unmistakable, the timing perfect. This is the promise. You will not remain in silence forever. The voice that is meant for you will come, and when it speaks, you will feel life, light, and strength surge through your spirit. And in that moment, chosen one, you will see why heaven had to keep the other silent. You will finally understand that the silence was not loss, it was preparation for gain beyond what you imagined. Chosen one, I must now speak with the weight of declaration, because what has been whispered until now must be thundered in your spirit. The silence you are experiencing is not an empty gap in your story, it is the very handwriting of heaven across the pages of your destiny. Every time they tried to reach you and failed, it was not a coincidence, it was a confirmation. Every blocked word, every unsent message, every quiet night when you thought no one remembered you was heaven shouting, "This one is mine, this one is marked, this one is chosen." Do you see the pattern? Every attempt collapsed, every path is closed, every sentence dissolved before it could reach you. This is not weakness, it is divine strength. This is not abandonment, it is divine adoption. You were not left behind, you were lifted higher. And I must declare this over you with full force. The silence is not rejection, it is redirection. The silence is not neglect, it is protection. The silence is not weakness, it is heaven's way of proving your worth. Listen carefully. Each time they typed your name, heaven erased it. Each time they rehearsed their words, heaven silenced them. Each time they reached for you, heaven put a wall in place. And why? Because heaven judged their motives and found them unworthy of your calling. Heaven saw what you could not see and intervened before damage could be done. That is why silence has been so loud, so consistent, so unshakable. Because the verdict is final. You are not for them, and they are not for you. Chosen one, you must no longer grieve over the silence, for it is a testimony of your value. You must no longer question why the message never came, why the call never rang, why the door was never opened. The answer is simple. Heaven closed it to protect you. Heaven sealed it to preserve you. Heaven shut it down so that when the right voice arrives, you will know it is holy, it is pure, it is yours. I declare to you now with authority, you are defended, you are preserved, you are marked. No manipulation will touch you, no counterfeit will deceive you, no fractured loyalty will bind you. The silence is proof of victory before the battle even began. It is the sound of God's no that made way for his greater yes. So let this truth resound inside you. You were not passed over, you were passed through, you were not ignored, you were shielded. You were not forgotten, you were protected by the one who knows your worth more than anyone else ever could. Let this declaration anchor your heart. Silence is not your enemy. Silence has been your armor, your guardian, your hidden testimony that you are chosen beyond measure. Chosen one, the story is shifting. The silence was never the end. It was the preparation. And I stand here as a messenger to declare, with heaven's authority, that what is ahead will make sense of everything that was withheld. You will look back and say with certainty, the silence was the greatest gift of all. Chosen one, we have walked through the weight of this revelation together, and now we must seal it with prayer. Not a shallow prayer, but a deep cry of the Spirit. Because the silence that has surrounded you was never ordinary, and the protection over you is not something to take lightly. This moment is sacred, and as I pray, I invite you to lean in, to allow your heart to open, and to let heaven write its truth upon your soul. Father, I thank you for this chosen one. I thank you that before they were formed in the womb, you knew them, and before they ever walked into this moment, you had already marked them. Today, I lift them before you with gratitude, because the silence they endured was not emptiness, it was your shield. Thank you for every word that never reached them, every message that was erased, every conversation that never began. Thank you for the divine interruption that spared them from pain, confusion, and cycles of bondage. Lord, I pray that their heart will no longer misinterpret the silence as rejection. May their spirit recognize it as your preservation. Remove every seed of doubt, every thought of abandonment, and every lie of worthlessness. Let the truth be planted deep, that they were defended, they were preserved, they were lifted above harm. Let this revelation become a fortress in their mind, so no whisper of the enemy can convince them otherwise. I declare over them the strength to embrace the waiting, patience to endure the stillness, and faith to believe that what is coming is greater than what was withheld. May their heart rest in the assurance that you do not close a door without preparing a greater one. May their eyes open to the signs. May their ears be sensitive to your leading, and may their spirit be anchored in the confidence that you are for them, not against them. And Lord, I pray for what is ahead. Release into their life the voice that is pure, the presence that is worthy, the relationship that is holy. Send the one who will not drain but build, not confuse but confirm, not harm but heal. Prepare their soul for the alignment that will come at the right time, with the right person, in the right season. Let them not settle for counterfeits or grow impatient in the waiting. Teach them to guard their heart and to trust your timing, for your timing is perfect and your ways are higher. I intercede now for their inner healing. Where silence once felt heavy, let peace now overflow. Where absence once felt painful, let hope now arise. Where unanswered moments left questions, let clarity now reign. Fill the empty spaces with your presence, Lord, so they may know they were never alone, never forsaken, never forgotten. Cover them with your love until it overflows like rivers of living water. Chosen one, receive this prayer not as words from me, but as a seal from heaven. The silence you endured was mercy. The absence you felt was protection. The stillness you carried was preparation. And now I bless you with peace that surpasses all understanding, joy that cannot be shaken, and faith that will anchor you through every season. You are chosen, you are preserved, and you are ready for what is to come. In the mighty name above every name. Amen.